All right. Good morning. So it looks like it's recording. I'm not going live anywhere. So I see the red button and we're going to get started. So I want to thank everyone for coming today. There might be people that are going to be dropping in as we go, but I really wanted to stick with the time. I think it's important when you give someone a time to kind of stick with that. And also, I just want to get this going, and it shouldn't be much longer than a half hour, 40 minutes. I do want to dive into some details because I have been getting a lot of questions, and people are curious about not only what it is that I do, but really how I do it. And also, really like, how does this all work? Like, how does the water feed the monetization of my socials? And how does my socials, when I don't talk about the water a lot, actually sell machines, right? And it's an age-old question. People ask me this a lot. People within my community get asked this a lot. So let's jump in and let me tell you why I even got started doing this and why I've been within this program and within this company for 4 years now. And, if anyone knows me, and I'm going to give you a little bit of my background, I used to teach yoga and Pilates. I did that for about 5 years. I had a wellness company. But I've actually never worked for an employer longer than about 2.5 years. I have been employed for longer than 2.5 years by other employers. I worked in the advertising world for a very long time, probably 15, 18 years, give or take different stops and starts between pregnancies and taking time off and teaching and doing my yoga thing and all of that. But bottom line, 4 years in this space has taught me more than my 4-year degree. It has taught me more than my 2-year graduate degree. And it has taught me more than any other job I've ever actually had, including my first entrepreneurial jump into the world when I was, had a wellness business. Because that was kind of one dimensional, right? It was find people that are interested in yoga, Pilates, or would like my massage. And then I perform whatever service that they would like and whatever service that, they want rendered. And that was about it, right? And if I wasn't working, I wasn't making any money. And so, and that's kind of the same with, a 9 to 5. Yes, there's some more perks. You get benefits and, you get some time off, but you have to ask for that time off and it's not very much. But overall, you're always trading time for money, right? Where this is the first business that I'm not trading time for money. I've actually made money while on vacation, and I had nothing to do with that money coming in. It was part of the leverage that our business has. I have a team and we all serve and help each other and we all grow together. And that's the other beauty of this, right? So I know, and I'm going to just nail this right now, the whole pyramid scheme thing, because it is not that. Because if you look actually at the way an employment, the way if you work for an employer, there's usually CEO and the MD or whatever. And then you've got maybe the higher up directors. And then you've got middle managers, which I was a middle manager, and they work probably the hardest of everyone there because they're dealing still with upper management and all the things and all the politics, but then also really helping and mentoring and making sure all the employees, all the little worker bees are getting their stuff done, right? And if we're not the ones doing it, the directors don't have time because they're working on bigger initiatives and they're leaning on us to get those things done so that their bigger initiatives can go up to the bigger people, right? But in the end, no matter how much extra work I did as a manager or how much extra work a director does, or how much extra work an employee does, they don't get paid anymore. They may or may not get a bonus at the end of the year. And many of the places I worked didn't have bonuses. They may or may not have a job at the end of the year because if as an overall, the company's not doing well and your job is no longer required, then you get let go. Whereas with this setup, with this, not just this comp plan, our comp plan is actually patented and no one else has it in the world. And I will go over that. I'll have some slides in a second. But bottom line, with this business, first of all, it's all set up for you. Second, you don't have to create anything. You don't even have to create marketing materials if you don't want. I do, but some people don't. And you can easily get those from somewhere. And you also don't have to create a product. I mean, when I had my yoga business, I had to create a product, right? All of that. And so the reason that this works and how we all serve each other is even if someone comes in under me, whatever that means, right? They come in and I start to mentor them and show them the way. they can easily surpass me. They can have more sales, they can have a bigger team, and eventually I'll make certain points off of them. But again, like it's not about like how can I just make money, 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 money. Yes, it is. We are all here for the money. That is why we are here, right? We are here to create income and resources so that we can live the lives that we want. And whatever that life is, right? So there's nothing wrong or dirty about wanting money, right? But doing it in a conscious way and doing it in a way where you can actually help other people create the same amount of income and you're making income while they're making income. I mean, it's like revolutionary, really. And this is really how the world should work. It's kind of how it started, right? With trading, like, oh, I have shoes, you have bread, let's trade. I have a horse, you have a field, let's trade. And like whatever you get out of whatever my horse tills for you, and I love that whole system. I've been to Burning Man, and I don't know if you know anything about Burning Man, but it is a trade-based 1 week in the desert, and nobody has any money exchanged. But I ate full meals 3 times a day, 4 times, 5 times, whatever. Free coffee, all of it. But it wasn't free. It was all this kind of monetization. This service-based economy for 1 week, right? So it's possible. There are people that feel good and want to live in this way, and this business allows that. So that's a little bit about my story. You've heard a lot about me, so I'm just going to get right into it. So let me just pull up the thing so that you can actually see what I'm speaking to. I'm going to share my screen in a second. I'm so sorry. I'm, kind of, let me go back into the Zoom and hit share screen. And hopefully it will come up. So let me know where you're coming in from today. If you are not on the live, when we chat on the call, we can talk a little bit more too. Usually I'm on a live, so I'm used to like having some interaction in between when things like this are happening. So let me, it looks like it's going. So what I'm going to do. Okay, now let me share my screen for you. Hold on one sec. I'm sorry, I'm not a little bit smoother about this, but I have the screen open. There we go. All right. Oh, I had it open earlier in a way that it was, well, I guess you can see it. Oh man, I just want to put this in present mode. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. So here I am. All right. So this is the question I want to start this with. I want everyone to just kind of close their eyes and just take a second, take a breath, take a deep breath in, all the way from, the bottom of your belly, all the way up through to the top of your head, right? And then just fully exhaling, and take one more deep breath in. And exhale. It can be through your mouth, it can be through your nose. So, is the way you're currently creating an income sustainable? Is it going to pay you for the rest of your life, whether you're working or not? Or will the money stop coming in when you stop working? When you really think about this question, right? So some people may have investments, but you may not. So you are going to have to work in order to create income, right? And whatever that work looks like for you, but you will have to work. Now, if you create a business that pays you passive income, then at that point, you will have the passive income, plus you'll have this extra money that you could invest, and then you can invest it in whatever that you would like, the market or however you want to invest. But most people, I don't have a statistic on this, are not in that situation. Some people are getting ready for retirement and they don't have any money for retirement. They have to continue working. Some people are getting ready to put their kids through college and they're not even sure how they're going to do it. Some people are literally living paycheck to paycheck still, and maybe they're in their 40s and they're still like, why can I not get off this hamster wheel? How can I figure this out? I really don't want to continue working like this anymore. Or maybe some are just ready to start making income again. They've been a stay-at-home mom for a long time, and you're like, I really want to create my own income. My husband has been supporting me, but I really want to contribute, and we could go on nicer vacations, or we could buy nicer things, or we could get that fund, our retirement fund growing even more and more faster. I mean, I don't know what it is, or it could be the other way around. You're the sole provider. I was always the sole provider in my home. And, maybe help your, husband out by helping him not to have to work so much, with whatever other work he's doing. There are so many scenarios where people are in lack. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I'm just saying that as a reality, right? And with the prices of things going up higher and higher and higher on the daily, it's not going away. So, maybe take a screenshot of this and maybe journal on this question and think about creative ways in which you can solve this. And I'm going to give you one right now. Okay. So what sort of company have we partnered with? So I'm looking at a screen over here because this is a little bit harder for me to read, but just so you know. So I'm not like looking away at all. But so it's a 49-year-old award-winning Japanese, water technology company, right? We had growth in 2020. Most companies were closing. It does have global distribution rights. My first sale was actually to a woman in South Africa. Water is a product that people need, people want, and people are looking now. It is not unheard of for people to have a water ionizer or a water filter. And the water ionization is still very new. And that's why this is such a great opportunity to come into, because this company is 50 years old this year. We're actually going to be celebrating that in Japan in a couple of weeks. I'm 50 years old this year. I can't believe this company started in 1974. I wish I had known about it sooner. But, it has a 500-year plan. So this guy that started this in 1974, first of all, looks amazing. I think he's like 80 something. And he has a 500-year plan because the Japanese are very, that's how they work. All their companies kind of have these long-term plans. So when I start talking about legacy income, you may go through your head and think, oh my God, like, is the money going to run out? It's not. And we'll talk about that in a second. So this electrolyzed reduced water is very different to alkaline water and just strictly filtered water, or say like water through a reverse osmosis machine or something like that, right? It's known as Kangen water. It helps to nourish and restore the body, right? And how does it do that? Well, it's anti-inflammatory. The hydrogen restructures the water and makes the molecules smaller. So because the water has this beautiful hydrogen in it, which is anti-inflammatory, it goes in and gets rid of all the free radicals in your body, right? And so it flushes at a cellular level because the actual molecules are smaller, right? So it's like throwing a bag of grapes at a fence versus a bag of apples, right? The bag of grapes is going to go through the fence, the bushel of grapes is going to go through the fence, but the apples probably won't, right? They're too big. And so that's what happens, right? That gushy feeling you get in your stomach when you drink too much water. Well, that's the kind of feeling that you don't get, because it soaks into your body within 5 to 10 minutes. You can have an echo-free, a complete and total toxic-free, toxin-free environment in your home. Like I clean everything from my toilets to my counters, to my sinks, to everything from the degreaser that comes out of the 11 and the 2.5, which is a disinfectant, right? Not just a sanitizer, but a disinfectant. So it is actually more disinfecting than actual Clorox, like what we know as a disinfectant. And I can show you a video about that if you're interested. Just ask for video down below and I will send that to you. It's an OME. So that means like everything, this little machine that you see in this photo is not only built by one person, but it's built within one factory. Not only the machine itself, but all the parts inside and the box. I mean, everything. So everything you get is built in one place, and then they're shipped all over the world to the different distribution centers that they have. No, you don't have to think about any of this. I'm just telling you this so you know the integrity of this company, right? And because it's been around for 50 years, it's got it down. And they use the best products, all right? It has an ISO gold standard certified for quality control, environmental impact. They have it's a medical grade machine, and getting something medical grade certified in Japan is really, really difficult. I have another video I can show you about an engineer who does medical technology in the States. And he's like, I can't believe how hard it is to get a medical technology approved in Japan. So if this is approved, it is a really solid machine. Obviously, it's a sustainable low waste product that lasts 20 plus years. I know people that have had them 25 to 30 years. So I don't know anybody that has a refrigerator, a dishwasher. I mean, myself included, my dishwasher just broke again in the last 8 years. We've had 2 of them so far, and we need another one. So yeah, it's really hard to find things that actually work. And they obviously do a lot of maintenance for you as well. And I can explain that should you want to buy one. This is really triple bottom line, like they say here, benefiting people, planet, and profit. And that is what Enagic is all about. That is their tagline. So, and it can be sold in so many different ways. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but we do have a mentorship that's coming up that will explain all of that. And you can pick, or you can choose, or you can do a little bit of all. You can go offline, online, you can do ads, whatever you want, but we can talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so these are the actual products. Okay, so the K8, the Enespa, and then the UConn, right? These are the ones that we recommend. There are other water machines that are of lesser plates. So the K8 has 8 plates, and so it's going through 8 plates of electrolyzing the water, and so it's the best. It is their flagship, but there are other machines. We always recommend this because what happens is people wind up buying, one of the other machines, which are just as good, but they won't give you as high a quality of the hydrogen water and all of that, and the antioxidants in that. But they wind up wanting to buy a K8, and then they have this other machine, which is fine. They usually give to a family member or whatever because it lasts forever. But I just wanted you to know that. That's why we recommend the K8. The Enespa is the shower. It remineralizes the water through active charcoal and a ceramic filter. I have one. I love it. My hair is softer. My hair is silkier. And obviously, I'm not getting all that terrible chlorine that actually has loads of terrible effects. You could look up side effects of chlorine, and you'll be kind of blown away by what chlorine does to you. And our water system, unfortunately, has chlorine in it because they need to disinfect, right? Which I get, but it's good to get that chlorine out, and it's really good to be not drinking chlorine and also not bathing in it. And then the UConn is our turmeric products. They're chemical-free, wild turmeric, which is made, these products are made with the Kangen water. So there's soap, there's supplements, and there are tea. And I actually just got tea yesterday for the first time. I generally make my own turmeric tea, so I haven't bought this. Which is funny because I've been here 4 years. So I will let you know how that goes. I'm very excited about it. But I do use the soap. That's the only soap we use in our house, not, just, for body wash and whatever, turmeric. And then I also use the supplements, and my mom uses the supplements. My mom is like 75, and she's like, this is the only turmeric I've ever taken that doesn't upset my stomach. So I do love the UConn, and the UConn is a way to build your business as well, which I will talk a little bit more about that. Okay. So these are the products. So I spoke a little bit about this, right? Is the market saturated yet? No, it is not, right? We have over 3 million machines sold globally so far. And think about, how many people are in this world. There are billions of people in this world, billions. And you don't need billions of sales to make millions of dollars. So that's the other beauty of this, right? You really only need a few people on your team that are as excited as you to really start generating income that will probably blow your mind away. I'm not making any income claims, but there are people making very, very good incomes and not working a lot, right? They are working fewer hours than the average person does. And then they're helping other people do the same. Like I said, this company is 50 years old. We're celebrating in Japan, and the founder, Mr. Oshiro, has a 500-year vision, which I told you about. He is looking at this company from now until 500 years from now. So our legacy program, where you will, I'm going to go into that, but you'll basically get paid. And then when you pass away, your children or the person that you will this company to will also get that same amount of money. And I will talk about that. So stay with me, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. We did do $1 billion in sales in 2022. And like I said, when the world shut down, everybody else was kind of like losing sales or going down in sales. We rose by 17%. And that's actually the year I joined, in March of 2020, literally the week before the world shut down. Did I plan that? No. But I was able to do this business with a toddler that was getting potty trained, a kindergartner at home while I was working my full-time management job, that middle management job I was telling you about. And I was running this business online and I made sales. So it is possible. It is so totally possible. And I wasn't out in the outside world, so I was only online and I had never been online before. So take that, and think about that as well. All right, we are expanding with new offices in new countries. Africa is becoming a very hot country for us right now. India is huge. Obviously Asia, but I mean, it's blowing up, and it's only been in the States, I want to say 21 years. It has not been here since 74. But yeah, but it hasn't been here. This isn't like the first country it expanded into, I guess I'm trying to say. So people are really becoming aware of their health. I mean, more and more people want the right water, right? I see a lot of posts where people are asking, what sort of water filter should I get? Yes, a filter is good, and it's good to know what filter to get, but you can have a filter before you have in front of your ionizer, but the ionizer is the one that gives you the health benefits. Filter, good first step. Ionizer is like the creme de la creme, especially a K8. And $1 billion is spent annually on bottled water. And I get a little heated and upset about the amount of bottled waters that, people drink on the daily. First of all, when you're drinking bottled water, you are taking in plastic, like little bits of plastic into your system, like microscopic bits of plastic, right? Because those bottles have not only been sitting somewhere in a warehouse, but then they get transported, then they sit in your store, and it's years that they're sitting in those bottles. They have loads of time to degrade. Okay, so that's one. Two, the water is being taken from perfectly good sources of clean, natural water, where that water should just be sent through, into people's, homes, and then sent through an ionizer, obviously, because, any municipality is going to have to put something in their water, in order to, make sure that there aren't, things that cause bacteria and whatever in your system. So tap water technically is better to drink than bottled water, which many people don't believe. But there still are a lot of toxins and things in tap water. And there is a website, I can't think of the name of it right now, but I can send that to you if you want it, to check your tap water, like where you live and how good your tap water is. Or bad or whatever. I grew up on well water, up in upstate New York, but I would probably bet that water still wasn't very good, because I'm sure there were things seeping into the earth, and the earth is not exactly as clean as it used to be. And also, these bottles, forget about us like drinking the water from these bottles, but these bottles wind up in landfills. And I don't know if you know, but there are two islands. There's one in the Pacific and one in the Pacific, one in the Atlantic, right? And they're about as wide as Texas and as deep as Texas, of plastic bottles, because there's nowhere to put them anymore. So now they're degrading into our oceans. So it really upsets me. And I don't want to get into that because that's a whole nother topic. But, I love the ocean. I dive. I just, water is essential for life. And the more we degrade it and the more we add toxins to it, just the more we're taking away from our own life, right? So let's move on, because I get a little upset and emotional about it, because it's just like so unbelievable, like the bottled water issue in this world. Okay, so pathway to legacy wealth, 6A and beyond. Okay, so this is the pathway that is laid out for you. 6A is when you get 101 sales. Now that sounds like, oh my God, like how do you do that, right? People are doing this within 3 months. Some people are doing it within 5 years. There is no rush. You never lose rank. And I'll explain that in a second too. But it is It is a monumental, and it is a really big, it's a big rank to hit, but it is not the rank that everyone comes in for. The rank that people come in for is the one circled in gold, 6A2-3, because that is where you get a $25,000 bonus. You get one at 6A, which is a very exciting rank. But at that point, 6A2-3, you get $5,000 every single month just because you are 6A2-3. Now, you don't lose rank, so you won't lose that. There are, other things that you have to do, but like at that point, you'll be doing those things naturally. It's a couple of sales, and it's not even that much. And so imagine having a business. Okay. And most people don't stop at 6A2-3. If you hit 6A2-3, which a lot of people are doing now, this is not unheard of. This is not impossible in any way or form. Average people that are 60, people that are 20. It's not an age bracket. It's not that this person had more skills than this person. No, anyone can hit this rank. I'm getting close to it. Right. So, but bottom line is $5,000 will be willed to your family. And again, it could be your kids. It could be maybe a charity that you want to will it to. It could be some family member, anyone. All right. So that I have never seen in any comp plan, nor have I seen that kind of money in a pension. So, maybe you have a pension, but pensions have kind of gone away, like they don't really exist anymore. And you have to work a lot of hours in order to get a pension. And you generally work until you're about 65. Whereas this, you could have this at age 45 if you started at 40. You could have this at age 50 if you started at 45. It doesn't take very long to build to this sort of wealth. Okay, so let's keep going. And if you want to take a screen grab, you can take a screen grab of this so you can kind of study the rest of the levels if you want. All right, so I talked a little bit about this, right? So you've got your traditional MLM, and then you've got the new paradigm, right? So traditional MLMs have monthly quotas, lose rank if you don't perform. I was in one of those, and I lost my rank a lot. 20 to 150 bucks per sale. We are making 340 to almost 6,000, over 6,000 per sale. And that's just an individual sale. Okay. That's not talking about the commissions that are coming in from the rest of the sales that your team is doing. There's usually like a membership fee or minimums that you have to keep up in order to actually keep your rank and keep moving. It's a one-time investment, and you will always be a distributor. There's low ticket versus high ticket. So this is what we're talking about. High ticket is the way to go. It's like selling cars and houses rather than selling car mats and fences, or front door mats, right? It's like apples and oranges, right? With the amount of sales you have to make in order to really make the amount of money that you're thinking that is livable these days. There is no legacy income with any MLM, and I have not heard of any. I have asked people, and they say, "Oh, we have legacy." And then when I ask for their comp plan and I show them mine, they're like, "Oh, so." And, there's a lot of people within our community that have done loads of MLMs, and there has not been one that is compared to the patented comp plan that we have. There's no licensing fees or minimums, and there is no recruiting. I have not reached out to anyone. People reach out to me. They ask me what I'm doing. That's a part of the attraction marketing that we do. And it's also just a part of, me drinking the water, or a friend coming over and seeing it, or me networking with people and letting people know what my business is. And then people ask me questions and we go from there, right? It was just the same like when I did my yoga stuff. I never reached out to people and said, "Do you need yoga?" People found out what I did, and I attracted the right customers. And sometimes I attracted people that I was like, "You know what? I'm not the right yoga instructor for you." Right. And that can happen in this business too. You can attract someone and think, "You know what? You might not be great for this business or my team. You might fit onto so-and-so's team better, or this might not be the best fit for you." Right. And that happens. Okay. Next. Okay. So there's a couple of ways that you can come in. This is the fast track, a quad. The quad did not exist when I came in. I likely would have bought a quad. I do have a quad now. I do have a loaner machine. So I do have 2 K8s. I do have an Yukon, and I do have an Anespa. But I came in with the trifecta, which I'll go over. But basically, the first 6 quad sales is your business, is sales in your business. You are in profit. It's crazy when you think about like, okay, you buy this for, in the US, this is about I don't know, a little over $10,000, a little over $12,000, I think, something like that, 15,000, to come in. So, another 10 times sales to earn 100K in commissions in total. So that's 20 quad sales. I mean, when you think about it, making like you need 20 people and sell these 4 products to them, and you can make, 100K in sales. I mean, that that's kind of a mind-blowing idea. Does it happen every day? No. But has it happened? Absolutely. Has it happened more than once? Absolutely. This is not a paradigm or a business where there's only the elite and there's only a few people that are succeeding. It is actually, I went to the Enagic store yesterday and I picked up their little brochure about the people that are really succeeding. And some of the stories in that brochure, which check my stories and stuff, because I'm going to be posting about them, are phenomenal. How they got started, why they got started, and how well they're doing. And some of them have taken a long time. Some of them have been here for a year. So it's really like, it's up to you, which is the beauty. And that's why, you can get this started, whether you're working or whether you're not. Okay. So to earn 1 million, it's 155 sales per year. To earn 250,000, it's 38 sales per year. To earn 500K, it's 77 sales per year. And to earn 100K, it's about 15 sales per year. So when you look at it, it's less than a sale a week for 100K and about 1.5 sales per month. That's really nothing when you really think about, like, when you have a business, my mentor always says making 2 sales a month is a business, otherwise it's somewhat of a hobby. But you know what? When you first get going, you're going to have a few months where you might not sell anything, and then it just starts to pick up. It really does. So you'd be surprised. Okay. So how do we go about doing this? So this is the age-old question. How do I get online? I've never been online. I have no followers. I had 700 people on my Facebook page. And when I got started, I was still working. So I did not have a public Facebook page. The only people that were seeing my content were the people that were my friends. And most of them were old colleagues, friends, and family. That was it. I started adding people. I now have up to 5,000 people on my, page. I have like 6,000 followers, whatever. That doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to get more sales. It doesn't. There are people, I was making sales when I had 1,000 people on my page and no followers, just 1,000 friends or 2,000 friends. I think it was, I don't even remember. It probably wasn't even that many because it was in my first year that I made a sale. So how do we do this? Well, we use personal branding, social media, and a little bit of automation. And this platform, the Freedom Era, is how I learned not only how to do all of this, but also how to grow my business. So like, it's one thing to learn the skills, it's another to implement, and then it's another to continue to iterate and grow and iterate and grow and look at all the different ways in which you can, market this and show people. So you create content, then you offer a free class, which is what I'm doing. Then they go into the discovery process, which I will send you the link for that. And then you do a digital business special call, which you will do that call with me likely. You can, however, go into this platform. And then you invest in your business, and then you do the launch your business, and it's done. And we actually have our own, little bit of our own platform as well, which I can show you. And one of my top sellers actually went through our mentorship, and within the first month made her first sale. So it's all possible. And she was an RN. She is no longer an RN. She got let go during the pandemic. And this is what she does now. So she can stay home with her 3 kids and, homeschool them and do all the things that she loves to do and take care of her chickens and sell machines to people and spread the health and wealth about this water. Okay. All right. So we are offering a mentorship in June. So for those that do pop in, we are going to be offering that. But right now, this 72-hour window or this 48-hour window, right? So today and tomorrow and Saturday. So tomorrow you can watch this. You can watch this today live, or you have 24 hours basically to watch the webinar and to book a call with me. And we will go over all the things. What I'm offering is $500 off of a K8 at the moment. Prices go up in June. So it's actually like getting $1,000 off a machine. So there's that. I'm also offering a one-on-one strategy call so that we can really like hunker in on what it is that you want to do and how you want to do it. That's 2. Three, I am going to offer a 1 free month into this platform. If you want to jump in there, it's usually $99 a month, or you can buy a yearly membership, which I highly recommend. Um, and yeah, that's where we're at. So if you have any questions after you've watched this, feel free to DM me or to text me, however you wound up getting the Zoom link from me. And I really look forward to hearing from you. And I really look forward to helping you get started, because this has been a really life-changing experience for me as far as starting this business. I have made some really massive personal changes as well as professional changes throughout these 4 years. And my life has never actually looked better in so many ways. And I've actually never felt better. I used to be sick every 2 months. And that was for many reasons, personal and professional, as well as my health, just because of the water. So, you know, I want to share that with other people, and I want to show other people that there really is another way. You do not have to work a job you don't like, and you can actually create income that's sustainable, and where you're helping other people, as well as, creating a really lovely nest egg for yourself and your family. So reach out, let me know if you have any more questions, and I look forward to meeting you all. All right, now I'm not going to be able to turn this thing off. I'm going to stop share, and I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you so much for your time today. All right, I'm going to stop record. There we go.